Pero ¿esto en qué idioma es? En inglés, ¿no?
Esto es en inglés.
Nada, yo no sé hablar en inglés.
Bueno, pero algo sabrás, tío.
¿Me enseñáis?
Di hello.
Hello.
Eso es alemán, tío.
¿No?
Hello.
Hello es alemán, tío.
Bueno, pues yo qué sé, tío. ¿Tenéis por ahí un papel con las preguntas o algo?
A ver, yo lo poco que he hablado con él, el tío se le ve majo, ¿vale? Entonces nosotros, hello, sir, we are fans of your work, tal.
Sí, Husky, pero ¿no se le puede decir si podemos hacer la entrevista en español? Que somos 3 y él es 1, tío.
Pero que estamos hablando de uno de los mejores jugadores, no solo de Estados Unidos, sino también del mundo. ¿Tú crees que va a saber decir algo en español? Es que no tiene sentido.
Bueno, es que es tan bueno que puede saberse todos los idiomas que quiera.
No creo que tenga tiempo. Yo creo que con su pedazo de Yoda y su campaign, aprender español no está entre sus planes.
Pues pasarme el enlace para ver las preguntas, que si no voy a hacer el ridículo.
Bueno, va, pues yo le pregunto a ver si sabe decir algo en español, pero yo creo,
Espera.
yo creo que no va a saber, vaya.
Voy a deciros una de las preguntas estas. A ver, voy a mirarlo porque es que si no, no se me escapa. A ver. Would you... Hostia, tú, esta no es.
Esto va a ser un desastre, tío.
Esto va a ser una puta mierda, tío. Perdón.
Esto va a ser un
¿Puedo
desastre.
borrarme?
Estas
¿Puedo
cosas me las
borrarme?
tenéis que decir antes porque nos está ya esperando para meterse en la llamada.
Pero tronco, es que...
Trust me. We
Escucha,
have this.
We have this.
¿me puedo coger la baja?
No.
¿Puedes meter a... Vale, yo qué sé. Da igual, tío. Haced lo que queráis.
Mira,
Llámalo, que entre y...
Sí.
Yo le tiro y ya está, tío. Y si me escupe, pues que me escupirá.
Yo le voy a mandar un mensaje y le voy a decir, tío, en español, ¿qué tal? Pero vamos, ya te digo yo que no. Pero bueno, vamos a ver. Vamos a ver.
Pero escríbele ya. Escríbele ya antes de que entre.
Voy.
Venga.
No, pues ya está. Pues nada, Matías, tío. Por lo que te decía, el libro está muy bien, tío. Me lo estoy leyendo. El de este.
Mentalidad de tiburao.
Du tiburao, sí. Y, joder, mira, ya puede ser la entrevista en portugués, tío.
Eso sí.
Me lo estoy leyendo, tío, y me está entrando así un regomello.
O sea, déjate ya el libro, qué pereza ya con el libro. Que dice que sí, que algo de español controla. ¿Vale? Yo lo meto dentro y que sea lo que tenga que ser.
Que entre ya.
Genial, venga.
Hola, comunidad española.
So, Ophir, welcome. It's a real pleasure to have you here with us. Big pleasure. I have to emphasize that. We are talking to the, right now at this moment, top 5 player in the world for Star Wars Unlimited. Is that correct?
On the leaderboard, I guess I think so, somewhere around there currently.
I have to say you are like top 2, maybe top 1 in my heart, but in the leaderboard, you are right now you are top 5. So congratulations on that. I guess due to the top 4, right, in the last sector.
Yeah.
Your performance in this set, I think, could say that was the best, at least in this set, because you won 3 PQs, top 4 at the regional, and you still have another PQ soon, next week, or probably in 2 weeks.
Yeah, one more PQ in like 2 weeks, and then I will be at the Milwaukee regional at the end of end of February.
So you can still make it higher in the rank, right?
I will do my best.
Okay, so if you don't mind, we can start with the actual questions we want to ask you. So Matthias is going to be the first one.
Yeah, I wanted to start because Su was my first game, and I think it was the first game from a lot of players. Was this the case for you? Did you start with Su, or did you play another board game, TCG, LCG, or anything else?
Yeah, so I've played a lot of different games, and I played a lot of Magic in my life, but never like competitively, like more like at a locally, and I like went to a couple tournaments, but I didn't like grind Magic. It was more for fun. I've played, I've tried a bunch of different card games. I played Marvel Snap right before Star Wars, but this is really the first card game I like really dove in to like, first of all, do content but also to like compete for real, like to actually try to like win tournaments and yeah.
So it's a good start for your competitive career, right?
For sure.
Why did you choose the Star Wars to compete like that? I mean, the gameplay, or maybe your community started to say, well, this is pretty interesting and let's try to compete and see where this goes.
Yeah, I think it was like, first of all, the game, like I started playing this before it was even released. Like I had some friends who like recommended it, and like I just thought it was really fun. Like I like Star Wars. I wouldn't call myself like the ultimate Star Wars fan. Like I like the IP. It's fun. But I think what drew me was like the gameplay mostly. And I started very early to play it, and I was just pretty good at it at the beginning. And like, because I got in so early, I was able to kind of get involved in the community really quickly. And you know, the content stuff came after. I probably didn't start that until maybe like 6 months after I was like playing primarily. And yeah, like if it's just very tactical, it just like scratches an itch for me that like other games didn't, I guess.
And in that first set you played, or at least I know you from your Chirrut Wing with the Force deck. Did you play that was the deck that you started the game, or because?
Well, I played before I like was playing the game before he was even like revealed as a leader. Like I was playing when there were like 40 cards teased, right? So it was like the first deck I was like really like, and I never thought it was like the best deck in the game. I just thought it was incredibly fun and pretty powerful. But it was also like the first major video I did, I guess. Like that was kind of what started the channel in a sense, because it was a unique leader that not a lot of people were talking about, and was featuring, I mean, a card that now is banned, right? The whole premise of that deck was Force Throw, back when it was a little more balanced than it was after Legends of the Force came out. But Chirrut was, you know, he was the first guy that could do it.
I wanted to link this. I wanted to link this question because I always known you as the person who never played the deck to beat, or tries to beat the deck to beat in some meta. That's what you wanted when you try to select a deck to play, or you just play the deck that you like in some moment?
Yeah, so you know that's tough because like I don't like purposefully avoid what I consider the best deck. The thing is, I think usually outside of like a couple metas, Django might be the primary one where it was like obviously that was the deck. I think there's usually a group of decks that are like top tier, and I would say most of the time the decks I play have fallen in that umbrella, in that range. I don't try to like purposefully play something very off meta. And in fact, I mean, because I also do content, a lot of the decks that I end up playing end up becoming popular. So it's not, it is like, you know, Yoda, for instance. In this set, I started playing Yoda, you know, before it was popular, but like within a week, it became like the most played deck, right? And I kept playing it. I didn't stop playing it because it was popular, right? I'm not avoiding, I'm not like trying to just like purposefully play something off meta, right? But I do like the angle of playing a deck that I think is good against the best deck. I think sometimes that's a decent place to be, as long as you're not sacrificing too much else around the margins, right? Like in set 2, I thought Kira was good against Boba. Like Boba was the best deck. There's no question about that, but I actually liked the position for Kira because I felt favored into what was the best deck. And, you know, that was pretty successful for me. There weren't a lot of tournaments back then, so can't know for sure. But yeah, like, I mean, if we look at the decks I've played the most, it's been Kira, it's been Quinlan, now it's Yoda. These have all been pretty near the top tier. Maybe not the number one, but in that range.
In the Yoda's case, I think you became the deck in the tier S plus deck. I think after your performance in the 3 PQs, I think everyone started playing it, and you were the reason to make the deck perform at that level. But continuing with this question, you said you played Kira, Chirrut, Yoda, and Cat Bane in last 2 weeks in the recently regional, and you all the time, and Quinlan in Galactic Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from being a great player, what, if you can say it, is the secret behind your high performance at playing those different decks, because all of them take different angles, different metas, different ways to handle the game. What do you think is the secret behind your success?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's so much a secret that it's just I do spend a lot of time practicing and like trying, right? I'm pretty invested in this game, not just for like fun. I mean, I do a lot of community work. I do a lot of content. I like the YouTube, the Patreon. Like I'm pretty invested, like not just like out of my own hobby. It's also like work I do. So I spend a lot of time on it. And, you know, I don't think it's always just like who plays the most wins the most, because I think you need to know how to practice. And then that's a very difficult topic to talk about. There's no like secret there. I've done coaching, and on my Patreon, I do streams where I kind of try to explain the best techniques and like ways to actually improve, right? Because there are people who just play, but they feel like they aren't getting better. And like being able to identify what it is that you're like missing, that's how you can get better. But it's not, there's no like secret recipe for that. Sometimes you do need help. Sometimes it's not something you can do on your own. And I do have help, right? I have a team of people that I can bounce ideas off of and talk to, and not even just the team who are also very good players, but the community that I talk to. Like I have a Discord with like 750 people, and like they talk about the game, and I listen to what they say, and you know, comments on YouTube. These are all things that help me understand. And yeah, like secret, no. I mean, I spend a lot of time. Once you're at a point that you like get the game, it becomes actually easier. It's like you know, they say it's like once you have money, it's easier to make more money, right? It's like kind of similar here. Like once you're good, it's easier to get better because you know what you're missing. As I play and I lose and I make a mistake, I very quickly know why that happened, which maybe is not something someone newer to the game would understand. They would just be like, oh, I lost, but I don't know why.
So that makes you better to adapt to a new deck. Not new, because you have played Cat Bane before, but you said recently that this set, you were playing Yoda a lot, but suddenly, because of the meta, how the meta was swapping and changing, Yoda was not a good deck to play at the regional, so you swap to Cat. You say that the more you play, the better you get, so that's a point to change a deck that fast between tournament, but to a person who maybe is starting or maybe is not so invested in the game, to someone take just one deck, or maybe try a wide range of deck.
Yeah. So look, if you're really starting, it's probably good to just practice one thing. And look, there have been people in this game that have been successful staying with one deck forever. The person that just won the sector in Mesa with Han 1 Yellow. Han 1 Yellow is not considered a meta deck right now, but he's been playing that deck forever, and he won a sector with it. And there are like would I recommend that you do that with like a random, not like Finn? Like I probably wouldn't, like if you were playing Finn, I probably would tell you should switch. But like once you get to a certain level of leader and power, even if it's not a top tier deck, I think there is a world where you can just say, I'm going to know this deck so perfectly that I can win tournaments or do well at tournaments. This game rewards skill and matchup knowledge so heavily that underpowered decks can beat powered decks if you know the lines better than your opponent does. Yeah. Having said all that, if you are willing to invest enough time to learn enough decks, that's when I start saying you should start metagaming a little more and figuring out which decks are positioned better. I get asked all the time, like, what deck should I play? And I basically tell everyone the same thing. I'm not going to answer this question for you. That's the first thing I tell people because I don't want that responsibility. But I tell people two things. First of all, you have to be comfortable with the deck because if you switch to something that's better, right? Like even if it's Django levels of good, if you don't know what you're doing, it doesn't matter how good the deck is. You need more than a baseline knowledge to succeed with any deck. And the second thing is once you can tell me that yes, you're good at it, then I would tell you need to decide what decks you want to be favored against and what you're more comfortable being maybe an underdog against. That's when you can start getting a little more nuanced with your meta gaming sort of. But I think more important is usually comfort level. I think you need to be really comfortable with what you're playing. And yeah, like I can switch whenever I want because I first of all, I've played most of the things. So it's not like I'm just picking it up for the first time usually. I keep tabs on things. Also, when I play against things, I understand the things I'm playing against and I learn from playing against them. But it's not like when I picked up Cad, it's not like I had never played him before, right? I've played him a lot in the past. And then I also spent like 10 days getting much more like invested in the new version of it and like practicing that and speaking with Mike, my teammate, about it. And, I have those tools. If you don't, then yeah, like I think staying with your comfort is okay within a degree. Because yeah, there are times where a deck that you are good at or are comfortable with is just not a good choice. Right, that can happen, and you need to. I think you'll improve if you're able to like separate your attachment from decks. I think you'll enjoy the game more too if you're able to like not be like I'm playing Han forever no matter what, or I'm playing Kylo or Kira, right? Like whatever it is, they're not always going to be good. And new sets come out, they make a new card comes out, it's very good against your deck, and if all you want to do is play one thing forever, you're gonna really have ups and downs to that.
Yeah. And how is the analytical process behind a tournament? Because in your case, you can switch to a deck, but you are facing a sector. You were facing Phoenix Regional 2 weeks before. How do you prepare this? Because you said, I'm not comfortable with Yoda. I think that everybody, there is a hand to maybe a massive population that growing up. How do you set this? Do you kind of predict? Do you have a crystal?
Yeah. It's not, I don't like write an essay about it, but I just keep tabs on what's been doing well. And like, of course, when you have a big event in like Europe that happens a week before that is dominated by like Han, right? That gives me information. I expect a lot of people will copy that and move forward from there. And then internally, what happens too is like Yoda for me, it was very good for a few weeks, but I started feeling that decline even before my third PQ win because I started playing more, like people started figuring out how to play against Yoda a little more. Like early on, I was winning like 85% of my games with Yoda, just beating everything. And then that number, it decreases. And it's not because like the deck has changed. It's just, and not even like that people are countering it. So I keep tabs on like my success with stuff. And I'm like, okay, just because the stats say Yoda beats Han 75% of the time, like Han 1, for instance, in my head and in my practice, I was like, this is not true. It's about 50-50. And if that deck is 50-50, and then like same with like Piet and like all these decks that I'm seeing getting played more, and now these people have understood how to play against Yoda, it's making me think, okay, the stat, like maybe this isn't the right choice. So there are two things happening. It's like the decks I'm playing, I'm seeing results change, and then I also follow the numbers and the stats that are coming out from events. I don't get too caught up in like matchup win rates at events because look, there's a lot of noise in the data. There's a lot of misinformation in it because, you know, a large part of this game is skill based. And because of that, bad matchups beat good matchups, good beat matchups. Like it's hard to like say, especially in any one event, that the numbers are true. Once you get a very large sample, it becomes more clear. But like I said, I saw numbers all the time telling me that Yoda should be crushing Han, and I was like, yeah, I beat Han in tournaments, but I never felt like it was a lopsided matchup. So I do caution people to get too invested in these numbers at because those sites like Swoobase, they're just giving you raw data. They're just taking all the games that happened in Melee and telling you who won, but they're not telling you that the person in round 3 doesn't like played and mold into no turn 1 plays, or it doesn't tell you that the person in round 2 that like that the Palp that beat the Sabine, well, the Palp is Sip and the Sabine is the first time playing the deck, right? Like you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. So yeah, like once the data is large enough, it's much more like reasonable to follow it. But honestly, this game's not getting played at a rate that high that our data is always a little iffy. So yeah, like keep tabs on what's winning is a really important thing, like especially at large events, and then track your own stats and just kind of figure out like, am I winning because my opponent's making mistakes, or am I winning because this deck is good? Like that's a hard thing to figure out. I see like lots of quotes all the time, like matchup win rates on like online websites. I'm like, well, first of all, what are you playing against? Are you playing against everything, like random piles? Because that's going to skew your data. Of course, your win rate's going to be higher if you're like playing against all the bad decks. And then second of all, like, when your opponent like clearly misplays but would have beaten you otherwise, like, are you counting that as a win for yourself? Because I count that as a loss for myself when I'm trying to figure out what's happening. And I know I'm rambling a little bit, but yeah, like it's...
No, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because that taking a loss from an opponent mistakes is pretty interesting.
Yeah, but if you were going to lose that game, it makes sense.
Yeah, like it doesn't count as a loss like in the real world. Like plenty of times people have made mistakes in a tournament, yes, but like as far as me trying to figure out if the deck is good, if I'm winning a game because my opponent like didn't realize they had lethal on board, like do I feel good about my deck, or do I just feel like I got lucky, right? It's things like that's like very obvious stuff, but sometimes like it's not obvious, right? Like you'll make a play, like even like Quinlan's a great example for this, because people would still play like a turn 1 play against me sometimes, and then I would just like play a 2-drop, ping, Tarkin Town, and like probably win the game from there. But the issue was if they had just passed on turn 1, I might not have won that game, right? They just misplayed on turn 1, and like this was like, how am I learning from this? Like, what's the best way that I can learn from this process? It's usually in a lot of cases, well, this game that I won, like it didn't really give me any information. And being able to know which games are giving you information and which aren't is tough. It's not like easy.
Sure.
How long does it take you to master a build, a deck?
I don't know. That's tough. Like, I mean,
for example, your Kira.
Yeah,
or
so like I started
campaign.
Kira very early on. So like I was playing her forever. Like, when did I it's hard for me to like answer this because I don't know like when I technically mastered it. I just know that like I practiced it. Once I got to a point of comfort level with it, I was able to like change it as needed, right? But I can't say it takes me like at this point in like my playing that long to like get pretty acquainted with a deck, because I've played so much that I feel like I can jump between strategies pretty seamlessly now. It wasn't maybe the case earlier on, but now it happens a little quicker, right? But sometimes I mean I don't like. It's tough because I don't know when it becomes a mastery, right? Like, is it just based on results? Is it based on like my feelings? Like, yeah, sure, I'm probably considered like a mastery of Kira, right? But why? I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You are a content creator. You have a Patreon. You have a YouTube channel, and you are one of the greatest competitive player of this game. Do you think this is difficult to balance these roles? What
not anymore. There were some growing pains with this, especially because I'm also on a competitive team. So we've had some discussions, although we've come to basically the same agreement that like we're just going to be pretty open with all our stuff because it supports our communities and that's important to us. And to date, I've only ever played one deck at a tournament that I hadn't exactly posted for public consumption on page. Well, Patreon's not public, it's subscription based, but and that was at Galactics, and I told everyone ahead of time that I was probably going to keep some card choices a little private for that. The deck itself was posted, it just had like some variations because I didn't want my exact list for that event public. But mostly I'm pretty comfortable at this point just like sharing like the Mesa list. I had posted it, like I post all my deck lists there. They're just live links to my decks.
Yep. I can
sometimes
contrast this because I am a Patreon of you, so I know that your lists are over there, so I can like put the truth stamp in,
I
in
appreciate
this
it.
paragraph.
Look, there's still a lot that goes behind the scenes besides the deck list, right? Just because the cards are there doesn't always mean that like everyone knows how I'm planning on utilizing everything, right? And you know, I've been successful. Like the deck I won the regional with was Kira. It was a card, like it was the deck that was up there, right? Everyone that was playing there knew what cards were in my deck, and I think that's okay in this game a lot of the time. I don't think you get that much equity from being secretive, and I also get a lot of benefit from being public about it because I get feedback and I get more people playing and testing with it. So I think it's kind of a mutual thing, and I owe my community a lot. Like the reason I can do this is because of them. Like I spend a lot of time on this. It would not be possible without them because again, it is a subscription. People are paying, and I that is what lets me spend the time, right? Because I wouldn't be able to do it otherwise. So I'm not going to like neglect that responsibility that I feel I have.
I try to balance also. We are all content creator, but I can be competitive and be prolific, publishing videos in my channel, and I try, but
you have to choose. You have to choose between
lo
playing
admiro.
or making
I
content.
admit it.
It's hard to balance sometimes between your private life, your work, the content creation, the time you spend on playing the game. I think that's a lot related to the thing that you have. I think in USA there is a lot of team mentality, or try to between a group of people prepare a tournament. I think here, or at least I think that in Spain or maybe in our little communities, we just take, I want to play Anakin. Okay, you are the only one that wants to play Anakin because my friend here wants to play Django and the other one maybe wants to play Phasma. So there is no much information at the time that we prepare a tournament, and we want to perform well at the time that we go to PQ. Maybe just getting a top 8 is a lot to us.
Yeah, and I that's a great achievement, and like honestly, I know it like might sound strange for me, but like when I go to a PQ, that's what I'm looking for too. Like I consider winning. Like I last set I didn't win a single PQ. I didn't actually top 8 a single PQ. Like it's not automatic, and it is an achievement no matter what. And I think setting like reasonable expectations is healthy and will only like improve morale, because if you set if I'm gonna be upset every time I don't win, and you know sometimes I do get upset, like even when I lose in like a top 4, like I'm like, man, I like that hits me, right? But I also understand that there's like supposed to be a pleasure of getting there, because that's doing very well, right? But I understand what you're saying too about like, yeah, like top 8, maybe it doesn't seem like much. Well, I want to tell you it is much. That is a good achievement. And like going 5-2 and barely missing top 8 is also an achievement, right? It's or just doing one win better than you did the last time. That can be an achievement.
That's a good philosophy, actually. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't like loss in the top 8.
He recently top 8'd a PQ, and he lost in the quarterfinals playing Sabe Tarkintown. So he wanted to bring this out.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's my only achievement of my life, and I have to say.
But you prepare that deck alone. Maybe if you prepare that in a team environment, or maybe in a hive mind environment, maybe you just get that top 8 play game versus Yoda to face that a little better.
Yeah, if you don't have as much time, then grouping with people, like you get more value out of your time, and if you get better practice that way, right? If you want to play Sabe, there's communities, right? Like I know I'm in one, but there's also others where, and like then you can bounce ideas off. You can talk about that Yoda matchup. Like maybe there's a play that you didn't know was like really important in that matchup. Maybe like the best 3 drop, you thought it was like going double 1 drop into shuttle, but actually if you just hard mulligan for like stolen AT hauler, you're gonna be like in a much better position, right? These are like little nuances, and I just like made that up. I'm not saying that's like correct or anything, but it's like these little edges, right? The deck can be the same, but if you know which cards you're prioritizing in which matchups, and like at which point in the matchup, then your win rates can change. And a lot of people don't have the time to figure it out all on their own, right? Because you need to play so many games and troubleshoot so many scenarios. But when you have multiple people doing it, and then you also maybe have like a Discord you're in where people chat about it, or someone made a video who won with the deck, and you like hear their opinions on it, and you can like fill in information that you don't have the time to acquire on your own.
Okay, when you create content, what you would say is your favorite type of Star Wars Unlimited content to make?
It's usually like strategy stuff. I like the deck guides. I like, tier lists are fun, where I just get to like rant about cards and talk about them. Those have been pretty fun. But basically anything that I can like talk strategy is usually the...
Okay. In the tier list, do you receive hate?
I get this. I don't get a lot of hate. I get like disagreement sometimes. I've had a few nasty comments in my life. I think that's unavoidable. I think to date, I've had this channel for like 2 years. I think I've only blocked like 2 comments ever, which is not very much, right? I don't, and I leave most of the mean ones up there anyway, but there've been a couple that crossed that threshold for me.
Like,
But
given,
yeah,
given that you make the content in English, and so you have a wider audience, 2 comments in 2 years, it's like wild because
A lot.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
in Spanish we have to block more more comments.
Yeah.
we as a viewer, what do you enjoy the most? Do you see a lot of videos? Do you consume?
Do I watch? I don't have time to watch a ton of videos. So and when I do, I usually watch parts. But I like looking at like other people's like meta reports sometimes, like because I mean that also helps me like understand how other people are viewing what's happening competitively, so I can like. And of course, if it's a popular channel, then I know other people are watching it too, so I know that they might be getting influenced by it. So I like checking that stuff out. I look at some other tier lists because those are kind of fun. And yeah, like I don't have time to watch a ton of content, honestly, because I do my own, and like I can't do Star Wars 24/7, unfortunately. But those are some things that I keep tabs on.
What channel do you recommend us? What channel of Star Wars Unlimited?
Yours, of course.
Yeah.
Yours?
I'll recommend my teams. So the KTOD channel, and there's also the Underwhelming Barrage channel, which is another teammate of 2 teammates of mine host that show. So those are like for competitive and like at least competitive minded stuff there. I like those. Those are, you know, also I know the people, of course, so like that's something.
There is some hidden channels or hidden gem that maybe you see or you watch that probably a lot of people don't know. Maybe there is someone over there.
You know, I don't know. Because again, like I don't have enough time to like delve that deep into like various content. Unfortunately, that's maybe my shortcoming, but I that's hard. Like even like with my friends' channels, I don't watch all their videos. Like I kind of get gassed out on it a little because I'm doing it so much that I kind of don't really try to watch too much other stuff right now.
Yeah.
So if you realize, Matthias is trying to like take your secrets. Like, do you have a secret method? Do you have a secret hidden channel? Do you have a secret?
Maybe was trying him to say that La Cantina del Cookie is the best channel. Maybe he was trying.
No, that's his channel.
No, I will go watch some of your stuff because this has been fun. So we'll kind of, and of course I will link this video to my community. So once you have it.
So we go on. Given how well things are going for you in this game, as a player, content creator, with your Patreon, all of it, have you ever considered turning this into a full-time job for you? We just talked with you before the interview about your actual job. Are you considering this as an option?
Not really, no. You know, I have a career. I'm a physical therapist, so like this unfortunately I don't think is like near secure enough a thing, right? Like in a year they could announce that the game is being discontinued, right? Like I don't know what's gonna happen. And even if it doesn't, maybe people lose interest and then like that it becomes less popular and less people want. And you know, maybe it blows up and then it goes the other way and it gets even more popular. But in the end, this feels more temporary than the career. And you know, if this can grow into something more stable, like where it's not just me sitting behind a microphone, but like lead to some other kind of employment or some other kind of roles, I would consider those kinds of things. But for now, I think that wouldn't be like a safe choice.
Yeah, I get that. So we've talked about you being part of KTOD as a team. They create content, you create content, you work together for tournament preparation and everything. But there's like these rumors, you mostly addressed it, about KTOD, like, yeah, you have to play this is the best deck, and then they go to the tournament with another deck that beats that deck. I'm not saying this is true.
Yeah,
okay?
I know. It's just I've heard that before. It's funny because they and myself, they actually probably do this even more. They just tell everyone what they're gonna play.
Yeah.
It's not even like no one's trying to game anything here. So myself included, right? Like I played Yoda and I did it 3 straight weeks. It wasn't like I was like, here, I win an event with Yoda. Everyone play this. I'm gonna go counter it. Like, no, like and even with CAD, like a week before, I started posting CAD decks, and people who like pay attention, especially ones in my stream Patreon tier, like who get a little more like detailed information from me on streams, like probably could see that I was like moving off of Yoda. It's not. No one's trying to game anything here.
You actually said that in one of your videos. You said that like with the growth of Han, I'm not going to be playing Yoda because it's not in a good place, so I'm going to move on. So it's actually kind of funny that people like have this theory and whatever, but I just saw like the window to ask you about it.
No, because I've seen those comments too. It's honestly, people just there are people, it's not the majority, but they just want to find something to like be angry about. It's not just in Star Wars. This is about the world in general. And then they make up, like they create like they hear something and then they like extrapolate, and it just becomes like it's a story gets invented, right? And I don't know where it came from, because if you could show me the like line to line where someone from K2D was like, play this, and then they went to a tournament and played a counter deck to that, like I don't think you'd be able to find that.
It's more like these are the best 5 decks, or these are the top meta decks, but it's never like you have to play this, because as you said, you don't want that responsibility on you.
Yeah, never.
And in between the same thing, you are not even tied to play the same deck. I mean, in K2D case, Justin plays a deck, Bobby might plays another, you play another.
We played 7 of us, and we played 4 different decks. If there was really some conspiracy going on here, it would look very different than that. That's...
Yeah, that looks like one of our teams. Like everyone plays whatever they want, and there's no teamwork and whatever. But you at least work together.
But like everyone has their preferences too, and like we don't always agree either on like what is correct or not, right? It's
sure.
But like I said earlier on, like being comfortable with a deck is incredibly important, and like as long as the deck is good, I think that can trump being like on the number 1 deck.
Okay. But going on with the actual important thing on this question and not the rumors and everything, you said that when you make your content, K2D makes their own content, but you work together and whatever. I saw like before Sector, you published like the Cat Bane list that you ended up playing. Well, I'm not sure if it was the exact same list that you and Bobby played. So you actually showed the deck list before. And I was kind of thinking, this is K2D work with Wooooo, because you work with them in the team, but it's shown on your Patreon, and then they make a video. How do you find this? Earlier you said that it was important to like be open with your staff, like you talk to each other and you tell what you're going to do, but how do you find this balance between what you post, what they post, what's yours, what theirs?
It's honestly, at this point, it's just kind of fluid. Like if I start playing a deck that someone else in the group was playing and I get invested in it, I'm going to post it on my group. Well, I don't post things in my list unless I practice it. That's like my promise to everyone that is subscribed to me, is that like I don't just post things here for the sake of it. Everything you see, whether or not it's a for fun deck like Cassian or a meta deck like Cad Bane, you can rest assured I've played with it and I've tried stuff with it. And yeah, like Cad Bane, I wasn't playing it for a while. When I started thinking about playing it for Sectors, I spoke with Mike, who had been playing it. I got a list. I made some tweaks, or talked to him about some tweaks I wanted to make, and then I posted it for the people in my group. There's been no issue there. There's decks that I post in our chat, and then someone will decide that they want to play it, and then eventually it'll probably show up on their deck list thread as well. Like it's not that big a deal. I think we both trust each other enough, and we also like respect our communities enough that we want to like show what we're working on.
Yeah, that's nice.
With them.
So going with this like team dynamics and everything, in the US you have great teams like Bothan, for example, or KTOD, and then we have like this rivalry. I'm not sure if this is actual rivalry or it's just something we see from the outside. Do you like hang out a lot? We've seen the Cardboard Chefs program where you like hang out and you make decks and have fun. When you prep for a tournament, you also work with the other team, or you actually
no. So the prep, we don't like for the competitive stuff. We don't really prep with each other. No, but like we're all friendly. The rivalry, it's for fun. Like there's nothing like majorly crazy going on with that. And yeah, like some other teams have channels, and they sometimes invite one of us onto it to like do a video there. That's like I mean it's mostly just for fun, but we don't really practice with other teams really. That's mostly kept in-house. The like real grind testing sort of stuff.
So just taking the Galactic, no one in the USA knew nothing about that Kylo Tarkington deck?
I didn't. I don't know if no one knew.
Not even...
We have. I don't know if Matthias was going to go into this, but I actually want to ask this because we did the Spanish co-stream for the Galactic tournament last year. We kind of worked with Asmodee to like have this official stream in Spanish, and we were like, oh my god, this guy is a genius. Nobody knew about the Kylo Tarkington deck, but he's playing the Parliamentarian in the sideboard, which is the perfect answer. Where does this come from?
I thought Kylo Green was going to be popular, so that's why. And Kylo Green was popular. Yep. It just happened to also work against their deck, but no, it was not because I knew they were playing it, and you know, I still lost to it, so...
But you manage
and your Killan deck was a surprise también.
Yep. For sure. For sure. We were watching you in stream. Like you never played against the Kylo Tarkington deck. Well, maybe never is a huge word, but
I did at the end. I lost to it twice.
Yeah, but in the tournament. Yeah. But before the tournament, did you actually?
Oh, before I'd never played against it because didn't know it existed. Yeah.
Our narrative was like. He's playing for the first time against this deck, and then after one game your playstyle like radically changed, and then you started winning the matchup, and it was like shocking. Like he never played this matchup, and then with just one game he understands what he has to do. He changed all the playstyle, and he's winning some games against it. So how's this like happening? Or
well, I can't say it happened like between like first of all, I knew the deck list because remember Galactics had like published the deck list, so I knew what they were trying to do. I knew what play lines, like for instance the Migs start. I knew how broken that was, and that I needed to like hard mulligan for the L3 start because I needed my shielded unit that could survive the Migs start. I knew how important that was. I knew how important Kira was going to be in this matchup. And then, you know, I also know they're making a giant Kylo. So, like, of course, the Bamboozles were going to be important. The Parliamentarian, which I had. I think what I identified was it wasn't really so much for Kylo. It was for Anakin. I wanted to stop the Anakin coming down and killing two of my units. And that worked perfectly. Like, I won in that top 4 game 2 because of that. Kira into that. Game 3, I don't know if you remember, was maybe the worst hand of cards I've ever drawn in my life. I think I had 3 Han Solos and like a Depa or 2. It was just a very weird. Unfortunately, couldn't really pull that one out, but it was a very good deck. It was not an easy matchup for Quinlan. Now it was interesting to kind of like see that pop up because we haven't had that happen that much in Star Wars, where like a deck just like shows up, it's completely new, and then does very well, right? And then it became a meta deck from then on. I don't think it was ever like the best deck in the game, but it clearly was elevated into like that first tier. And that really hasn't happened much.
I like the word you said about this not happening ever in Star Wars Unlimited, because except for this Kylo Tarkin Town, because it's something that used to happen in Magic, for example, like some years ago, when some team appeared with these new combo elves or this new deck that surprised everyone, and in Star Wars we didn't have that, so we celebrated in a Galactic Championship. But also we were rooting for you, so it was sad that you lost in the semifinals.
It's all right.
It's okay. So we have one last question for you, and it's kind of a mix between topics. We've seen you are making like this video series about the rotation, which is coming right.
I'm excited for
it. Yeah. So how do you think this would impact the game? Like it's 2 years of the game, over 2 years, and we are like constantly hearing this: the game is dying, the game is dying, wherever. Do you think the rotation can be good, can be bad? And also, like, to throw the entire question to you, do you think we are going to see in the future more mix of eternal format, limited format, and premier in the competitive environment?
Yeah, so I think this is very good for the game. I think this is going to be only positive. Rotation is mandatory for TCGs. It's just, I know that this might be a first TCG for a lot of people. I think Star Wars IP might have drawn some newcomers, maybe have not really understood yet like what the purpose of it is. Feel a little bad that like cards that they have are not going to be legal, and I get it, but you cannot balance a game if you don't do this. It's just impossible. And if we didn't have rotation, you know what we'd be doing next set? We'd be playing Han again. Like, it would never stop. We would just keep doing the same stuff we've been doing forever with some new cards. And if you want the game to feel fresh, this is good. In fact, it's going to happen every year now, right? This is the only block that it's 2 years, because we had to wait like the full cycle. Yeah, like from now on, every year, you're going to have a pretty major shift in this game, and it's going to feel good every time. Right now, when you try to build decks, it just feels like a breath of fresh air. You're getting new cards. I think they're doing an excellent job with this set that's coming out. It feels very powerful, very unique, something that I wish will continue, because I think the last couple sets have felt a little anemic to me, a little light in overall like interest. This is like really feeling like a great first set to have for a new rotation. I think this will invigorate the game. Now, the stuff that you've mentioned about the game dying, I don't know what's going to happen. I know that it's not great that the cards are selling for so cheap. It's like here in the States, I bought a box of Secrets of Power for $40 for what it's worth. It's MSRP for it is $120, so it's like a third of what the like listed price is, and that is not sustainable, right? Stores will stop buying this product and to sell it. So on the back end, they definitely need to figure out how to make the stuff worth more. And this isn't me calling for like the game to price anyone out. It's just purely like the game won't exist if this is what the cards sell for long term. So they need to print more valuable cards, more rare cards, more interesting promotional cards, right? Things to like, and probably print less product. I think they've probably overprinted, which makes a lot of these cards just sit on shelves. But I think this is like the best card game. So if they fix the other stuff, I think there can be a lot of longevity to this. I expect there will actually be an increase in participation at events starting with set 7 with the rotation. I think a lot of people are kind of sick and tired of the same leaders that we've been playing since a year ago, right? We're playing all year 1 leaders basically, and it really narrows the play styles. your second question was about Eternal, right? And I think they've already confirmed we're getting Eternal PQ starting in set 7.
Yeah, but do you think it's going to be higher than PQs, like sector qualifiers, or maybe?
Well, limited is already, right? Limited is at the regional.
Yeah.
There's a whole, and they've confirmed that Worlds will have mixed format, limited and Premier. So limited, I think we already know, is going to be a major part of this. Eternal, I don't expect that yet. First of all, I think we're just too, like, I don't think a lot of people are going to want to play it initially because it's just going to feel exactly like what we just played. Now, in a year, it might be a little more interesting. There'll be like 10 sets or 11 sets, and all of a sudden maybe it'll be a little more interesting. But I'll probably try it. I think they probably need to, like, ban some stuff first. I don't think like Django belongs in Eternal, even though like the power level will be higher. I think if they want this format to succeed, they probably should fix it a little bit and then maybe wait a little before they start making really large events. Like just keep it at PQs and then see interest level for the format. And then maybe you can add it into like a sector or something, an Eternal sector. It's just tough, right? You're only doing 3 sectors, 1 regionals per set. One of them's already limited. If one of them is also Eternal, now you're talking about 2 only being Premier, and it's not a lot. Like, I think it's going to be tough unless they add more events to like get that in there.
Yeah. So with one of the things you said about the card quality, like they have to print better cards. I don't know if you meant like this, but some kind of
at higher rarity.
Yeah, higher
primarily.
rarity. Yeah, but we always, at least in the Spanish community, we always speak about how rares or even uncommons are mostly better than the legendaries. So why would I open a box?
True.
Yeah, why would I open a box if I don't have good legendaries to open, or something like this? So you agree with that? Okay.
Yes, very much. I've been talking about that for a year now. Every time I do a legendary review, I'm like, all these cards are bad, basically. Like they're right now, I would say they're maybe a little better than they've been in the past, but they're still not where they need to be, in my opinion. I think you're gonna make 20 legendaries. Like I think 10 of them should be competitive staples.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like competitive playable. I mean competitive like staples. Like set 1, right? Luke, Vader, Avenger, Millennium Falcon, Boba Fett, Super Laser Blast, Devastator. Yeah. Like you have to go down the list to like number 13, which was like Change of Heart or something, before you get to one that was like Fringe, right?
Yeah.
That's Home 1. I didn't mention that. Like that's what you need the legendaries to be. And like set 1 still sells more than every other set. Yeah. It's just unfortunate. It will make cards more expensive. It will be harder to afford some decks, but that's better than the game not existing. So I think it's necessary. And I don't think rarity on its own is like the only thing they can like change here. I think stuff with like promos, I think Carbonite was very premature for a game like this. There's not a huge collector's market in this game, and you've printed a collector's product that is also like completely crushing the value of the regular boxes. But that's not going away, but there are ways to like make that product scarcer, make it rarer, so that it's not just like easy to get prestige. Like prestige should be valuable, but even those cards are often not valuable because they're too common, right?
We got to the point where foil cards and prestige cards were cheaper than the regular versions. Like everyone was opening like Carbonites instead of regular boosters.
Yeah, but then the Carbonite's also not worth much because like the cards themselves don't hold value because they're also very common, right? Rarity really is the name of the game in a collector's market. It doesn't matter how cool the card is. If everyone can get it, it's just not going to be valuable. So that's just the TCG element of it. It's not a player-friendly element of it, but it's kind of required for the ecosystem to be consistently working long term.
This is our first interview with this like show, so I just came up with the idea of like the last thing we are going to ask you, and we'll ask to anyone who comes to our interviews, and it's the 1-1-1, like one card you are going to miss with rotation or card or leader, whatever you want. One card you actually need to leave with the rotation, like you don't want to see this anymore, and one leader or card you hope it's going to be good after rotation. Like the one you miss, the one you hate and love seeing go, and the one you think it's going to be good.
All right, the one I miss. All right, I'm gonna do that one last. The one I'm happy is leaving is Hantu.
Okay.
I think
I was expecting that.
I hate it.
that one's easy. I think that leader is a mess. And then one that I hope will be good. From, I guess not from the new set, right? From like the sets 4, 5, and 6.
Or the new set. If you like the new set, it's good.
So, you know, I'll say I hope the Jabba from set 6. Okay. I like that leader. I think he's pretty cool. Fun. I hope we get some support for him. We need some ambush stuff to work with him. That's what I hope. And then one card I'm gonna be sad that's going away, McClunky. Especially now that they're printing so much Underworld.
Yeah.
That card is genius. That card is so good and fun and like not overpowered. It's just like the perfect amount of like tribal synergy support. I wish that card was just getting reprinted into this set.
McClunky is the force throw, mini force throw.
It's Kunin. Balanced force throw.
Mini Kunin force throw.
Do you really think that McClunky is balanced?
Yeah,
force
but
throw.
One resource and is the game.
Yeah.
So we can say that if McClunky gets reprinted in the new set, we are going to think about you. Like, because
fair
you
enough.
said it.
It's not gonna get reprinted, but
okay, so I think we are done. So
okay.
We are going to leave it here. So thanks a lot. This is really huge for us and for the Spanish community. So thanks a lot for joining us today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Pido perdón por no ser mejor que nadie. Pido perdón por jugar peor que nadie. Pido perdón por mis misplays insoportables. Pido perdón, pido perdón, pido perdón, pido perdón.